Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jonathan. I'll be the facilitator for the session. And we have a few announcements before we start, as usual. So we would like to, first of all, thank you all for arriving on time, and also ask you to please remember that it's important to stay the full hour and also to participate in order to receive credit. Any of you may choose to only observe, but please remember that it doesn't count as a credit if you only observe. If you would like to be an observer, please let me know either by writing me a message in the chat, or if you know how to change your name by putting observer after your name. That way we can calculate the time for everybody correctly. Also, in order to receive the credit, you will fill in a form with the information from today's lesson. There's been quite a few questions about that lately. So on the new platform, there is a form to fill out. And actually, I'll give you a link here for a video that Dr. Lee put together that explains some frequently asked questions, including how to register these sessions. So I will give you a proof of attendance afterwards, which will be a keyword, and then you just put in the information for this session where it asks you to fill it out. Please make sure that your chat window is open. I'll be typing in the scenarios and can also write down any medical terms that you might need for reference. All of you are welcome to use the chat box freely if you want to give feedback or encouragement, or if somebody needs to look up a word, if you want to give them some suggestions, please feel free to do so throughout the session. Also, please make sure that you stay muted until you're called on. That way we don't cause any interference, everybody can hear clearly. And if any of you have any questions regarding the course, feel free to attend one of Dr. Lee's question and answer sessions. She would be glad to answer any questions that you would have. If you have questions that are more regarding interpreting or maybe one of the scenarios that we go over today, then once everybody's had a chance to go, we can open it up for question and answer. So feel free to ask any questions at the end of the session today that have to do directly with or directly related to interpreting. Now, in order to develop good skills, it's important to get into the habit of practicing on your own. And that's something that even experienced interpreters continue to do. A really good website to practice with is webmd.com. They have authority articles on numerous medical subjects. And a good way to use that is to site translate. So you look at, find an article that interests you and read it out loud in your target language. And make sure you have a medical dictionary handy so you can look up any words you're not familiar with. This will give you not only help your vocabulary, but give you good practice also at looking words up more quickly. If you don't have a medical dictionary, it's a good idea to get one. There's some links on the website to some good ones. And if any of you need one right now, or if you think you plan on working at your computer, this is also a very good link here, lingui.com. They have most of the main languages on that. It's nice because it gives you context, so you can make sure you have the right word. Another really good website to practice with is docmali.com. They have a really good podcast and just some good information, specifically for medical personnel who work between Spanish and English. All right, it's also important to have a notebook to be able to take brief notes when you're interpreting, just of the things that were said, especially when there's numbers involved that are very easy to get mixed up, or where maybe with lists, it's very easy to leave something out on a list. So please practice your note taking, especially as other people are practicing. It'll give you a chance to take your notes without all of the pressure. So that is a very important skill to get used to and to learn. And good. And let me see, I believe that's it for the announcements. So let me see, there were a few students who logged in during the announcements. You guys were still within the 5-minute mark, so you can still participate. Just give me 1 second to register the names. Okay. And let me see. Okay, so we have 3 students, it looks like. All right, I think that's everybody then. Perfect, so we'll go in the order you guys logged in, and we can start with Shumei. Hello, Shumei, how are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Jonathan. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, good. Hold on just a minute. For some reason, my headset is not working right. Give me just a minute. You can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, good. It's for some reason it's coming out of my computer speaker. Give me just 1 second to
no problem.
adjust that. Okay, all right, so we can start then with the first session here, and this one is going to be on, let me see, gastroenteritis. I'll put that in the chat box for you. Okay, so good afternoon, Mrs. Montesinos. I'm Dr. Alvarez.
早安，我是 Andrew医生，I forgot.
Okay, sure.
Sorry, interpretation about names.
Sure. Actually, I'll put those in the chat box, and I know those aren't Chinese names, so but sometimes the doctors though will have many different last names, so it's good to try to get
Yeah.
used to that. But I put the two names in the chat box, and I'll repeat then. Good afternoon,
Yes.
Mrs. Montesinos. I'm Dr. Alvarez.
早安，我是Andrew Andrew 医生。那sorry, let me repeat one more time. 早安，Montesinos，我是 Elvis 医生。
Okay, so Dr. Alvarez was the doctor's name.
Alvarez 医
Yes.
生。
Okay, good. And this little boy, is he your son?
这小男孩是你的儿子吗？
That's right, doctor.
是的，医生。
Well, let's see what's troubling the poor little fellow.
让我看看是可怜的小孩是怎么了。
Well, you see, doctor, he's restless and he has diarrhea.
医生，你看他就是很疲倦，然后又有拉肚子。
And how long has he had diarrhea?
他这样子拉肚子有多久了呢？
Well, it started yesterday morning.
他从昨天早上开始。
Have you noticed any blood in the diarrhea?
看到血在他的拉肚子那边了。
No, there isn't any blood. It's like yellow water.
没有血，它就是黄色的，然后很水。
And I have already changed his dirty diapers 3 times today.
我已经帮他换尿布换了3次了，今天。
And how many diapers wet with urine has he had today?
那他今天尿有几次了呢？
Well, it seems like he's not urinating very much, doctor.
看起来好像他没有尿很多。
I think he has only had 1 wet diaper today.
他今天好像就只有1次排尿。
Okay, good. That sounded good. Now let me share my screen with you so we can do some site translation. Give me just a second. Okay, can you see that clearly? Try to see if I can make it bigger. Okay, so this was a brochure on exercise, and the last one we had left off here. So if you want to start with this point.
I see black screen. It's on the top. Okay.
Yes, so here, and then the description.
And is your cursor on the top? I did not see your cursor.
Sure. This one right here. I highlighted it for you.
When It's very blurry today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see.
I
I don't
don't
know if
know
I can
why.
make it bigger. I don't know if that
No,
helps.
it's worse when you
Oh,
make
okay.
it bigger.
All right.
I cannot.
Maybe is it more clear that way or?
Yeah, smaller is better, but still right now I really cannot tell the word.
Okay.
Mm,
Hmm. All right.
Very hard to
I
read.
can try. Let me try something else real quick.
Mhm.
If I take a screenshot of that, maybe it'll be a little better. So let me try screenshot and then see if maybe I can make that bigger.
Yeah, last week was much better.
It was okay. It might be the internet connection too. So
Yeah.
maybe if your connection's not too strong, it might be a little weaker. But
Yeah.
all right, well, the time is just about up, but let me just try this to see if this will work. Give me a second. Okay, does that look more clear to you?
Uh,
Okay, good. All right. Unfortunately, the time is up though, so
oh,
I'll save
I
this.
like to,
Oh,
yes, but I like
oh,
to give you feedback. Now is very good.
okay,
That
good.
we will do
So,
it this way next time.
all right, good, good. Oh, this was a screenshot I took of just that paragraph. So I'll
Oh,
save that and I'll use that next time. So that way I
okay.
can make it
Okay.
bigger. So, okay, all right.
Thank
So,
you.
all right, you're welcome. Let me see. So next on the list we have Isaac. Hello, Isaac. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, good. All right. So now the doctor's next question is he vomiting?
Él está vomitando.
Bueno, ayer tuvo vómitos, pero hoy no.
Well, yesterday he was vomiting, but today he isn't.
And do you breastfeed him or give him formula?
¿Le das el pecho o le das una fórmula?
Le doy pecho, doctor.
I breastfeed him, doctor.
And is he eating well?
¿Y está comiendo bien?
Bueno, en realidad no, doctor.
Well, truthfully, he isn't, doctor.
How often do you nurse him?
¿Qué tanto tú lo nutres?
Bueno, normalmente cada 2 horas,
Well, normally every 2 hours,
pero hoy solamente lo he podido amamantar 2 veces.
but today I could only nurture him only 2 times.
And do you remember how many minutes each time?
¿Y tú recuerdas cuántos minutos cada vez?
Solamente unos cuantos minutos.
Just a few minutes.
Y normalmente se alimenta por lapsos de 10 minutos por cada pecho.
Usually, you're supposed to do 10 minutes each. Interpreter needs repetition, please.
Sure, por cada pecho.
For each breast.
Okay. All right, good. Now that was my voice for both sides, so it can be confusing who's speaking. But this was still the mother speaking. So if that came from the doctor, then what you said would have been good. That normally you should. But being the mother, though, remember it was her speaking. So
Yeah.
so she said basically that he normally eats for that time.
Yeah.
But again, it's probably because it was my voice for both sides, so it can get confusing. All right. So the doctor asks, does he seem uncomfortable when you nurse him?
Él parece incómodo cuando usted lo nutre.
Sí, llora un poco y está inquieto el pobrecito.
Yeah, he cries and he cries. Interpreter needs repetition, please.
Sure, llora un poco y está inquieto, pobrecito.
Yeah, he cries and he's unstable. That's hard. And my poor one.
Yeah, sure. So the way it's written in the notes, I like the way they said it. They say the poor little thing. So pobrecito, that's a good way to say it.
Okay.
But all right. Does he produce tears when he cries?
Él produce lágrimas cuando llora.
Sí, pero menos del normal.
Yes, but less than usual.
And has he had a fever?
¿Ha tenido fiebre?
Bueno, empezó a calentarse esta mañana.
Well, he started to get hot this morning.
And how high was his fever?
¿Y qué tan alto era su fiebre?
No sé, es que no tenemos un termómetro en casa.
I don't know. It's just we don't have a thermostat at home.
Okay, good. So there's another word that would be better to use. Thermostat actually refers to inside of the house when you control the temperature of the
Yeah,
house.
termómetro. I meant.
Yes, good, good. All right. That's fine. We will take his temperature now.
Eso está bien. Podemos coger su temperatura ahora.
Have you noticed if he has had any problems breathing?
¿Has notado si tiene problemas respirando?
¿Cómo qué problemas, doctor?
Like what problems, doctor?
Has his lips or his chest turned blue?
Su pecho o sus labios se han convertido azules.
Or has he momentarily stopped breathing?
Ha parado de respirar momentáneamente.
Or has he gone limp?
O se ha ido. Interpreter needs to look up a word.
Sure, sure.
Ha empezado a coger.
Okay. Okay, good. Now that actually was, are you using Google Translate by any chance? Or
Lingui.
Lingui, okay. If you look at the context, that refers to like limping when you walk. But
Ha
in this
tenido
case,
coger.
a good way to say that would be se ha puesto flácido, kind of like where
Ajá.
the baby's just like flácido, he's limp, he doesn't move. So,
Yeah.
all right. But yes, so cojeardo, Norian just wrote that too, but that's more limping when you walk. So that's not for in the context. But good job, Bisak.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I just realized some more people had logged in. Let me see. So I just see that we have a lot more people here. Give me a second to try and figure out. Okay, David wrote, "Am I too late?" And yes, that was at 11:11. So yes, unfortunately, after 5 minutes, you're not allowed to participate. So I would love to include you guys, but for those of you who came in after 5 minutes, you won't be able to participate today. But feel free to stay as observers. You can still practice note taking and still get a lot out of the session. So, all right. So let me see. Next on the list, we have Nurian. Hello, Nurian. How you doing?
Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. All right, let me see. So the doctor just asked if the baby about some symptoms, and the mother answers, bueno, si esto hubiera ocurrido, hubiera llamado la ambulancia de inmediato.
Well, if this had occurred, I would have called the ambulance immediately.
And has he broken out in any rashes?
¿Y él ha tenido algún sarpullido?
Or were there any difficulties when he was born?
¿O tuvo alguna dificultad cuando nació?
No, doctor.
No, doctor.
Now, have you traveled with the child in the past 2 weeks?
¿Usted ha viajado con el niño en las últimas 2 semanas?
No, no hemos viajado.
No, we haven't traveled.
And does anyone else in the house have diarrhea?
¿Hay alguien más en la familia que tenga diarrea?
No, pero lo llevo a una guardería.
No, but I take him to a daycare.
Escuché que algunos de los niños tuvieran diarrea últimamente.
I heard that some of the children had diarrhea lately.
And did Miguel receive his first dose of the rotavirus vaccine?
Y Miguel recibió la dosis de la vacuna de... Interpreter needs to look up a word.
Sure. Here's the spelling, and the spelling is actually the same in
The-
Spanish. Just change
Okay,
the
el
pronunciation around.
rotavirus.
Sí, ha recibido todas las vacunas según nos recomendó la doctora Sánchez.
Yes, he's gotten all the vaccines, just as Dr. Sanchez recommended.
Yes, you're right. I see that here in his medical record.
Sí, sí, ya lo veo en su. Okay. Interpreter needs to look up a word. I'm sorry. My
Okay,
mind is
sure.
blank.
No problem. Carmen has an excellent suggestion for you.
Expediente médico. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Good. And also, Geraldine, historial is also used often too. So good. All right. Can I examine him?
Lo puedo examinar.
¿Cómo no, doctor?
Yes, doctor.
Now, I think he has a viral illness called gastroenteritis.
Bueno, yo creo que él tiene una infección viral que se llama gastroenteritis.
Entonces va a darle antibióticos.
So, are you going to give him antibiotics?
No, this isn't treated with antibiotics. It usually heals on its own.
No, esto no lo tratamos con antibióticos. Esto se mejora por sí solo.
But it can cause dehydration.
Pero puede causar deshidratación.
And it looks like Miguel already suffers from mild dehydration.
Y parece que Miguel ya está sufriendo de un poco de deshidratación.
Have you ever used rehydration solutions before?
¿Alguna vez ha usado soluciones hidratantes antes?
I am going to give you a prescription for a rehydration solution that you can get at the pharmacy.
Le voy a dar una prescripción para una solución hidratante que la puede conseguir en la farmacia.
Talk with the pharmacist if you can't find it.
Hable con el farmacista si no lo puede encontrar.
And now, in order to prevent dehydration, try to give him 2 to 4 ounces every time he vomits or has diarrhea.
Bueno, ahora para prevenir deshidratación, trate de darle de 2 a 4 onzas. Interpreter needs repetition.
Sure, every time he vomits or has diarrhea.
Cada vez que vomite o tenga diarrea.
Okay, good job. Good job.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Let me see. Next, we have Geraldine. Hello, Geraldine. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Jonathan?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. At first, try to give him 2 to 4 ounces every 30 to 60 minutes.
Primero trate de darle de 2 a 4 onzas cada 30 y 60 minutos.
But please don't try to give him large amounts all at once.
Pero por favor trate de no darle muchas onzas en una sola dosis.
This can cause vomiting.
Esto puede causar vómito.
And Miguel should have 4 to 6 wet diapers a day.
Y Miguel debería tener de 4 a 6 pañales mojados al día.
That would indicate that he is hydrated.
Eso va a indicar que él está hidratado.
¿Y con qué le debo dar las soluciones?
With what do I have to give him the solutions?
With a spoon or a syringe.
Con una cuchara o una jeringa.
You can find them at the pharmacy.
Las puede encontrar en la farmacia.
Y doctor, ¿debo dejar de amamentarlo?
And doctor, do I have to stop nursing him?
No, it's better to keep nursing him.
No, es mejor seguir amamantándolo.
¿Y cuánto se tardará en aliviarse, doctor?
How long is going to take him to get better, doctor?
Well, this illness usually only lasts a few days.
Bueno, esto solo dura de unos cuantos días.
So if he Okay, one point there though. He said it usually only lasts,
Oh.
and that's a pretty important word because sometimes
Usualmente,
it
sorry.
could. Yeah, no problem. Just those words sometimes we don't pay a lot of attention to, but it can change because. Let's say it lasts a week, then the mother would say, "But you told me it would only be a few days." So it's they're
Okay.
important words to include. So
Okay.
all right. So if he doesn't continue to improve with rehydration solutions,
Si él no mejora con las soluciones hidratantes,
you should bring him back to be re-examined.
debería traerlo de vuelta para poder examinarlo o reexaminarlo.
And if you have any questions, please don't forget to call the clinic.
Si tiene algunas otras preguntas, por favor no duden de llamar nuevamente a la clínica.
Here's the phone number, and you can feel free to call anytime.
Aquí tiene el número y puede llamar a cualquier hora.
Gracias, doctor. Que Dios lo bendiga.
Thank you, doctor. God bless you.
All right, good. So let me see. Next, we have a scenario that we can start. Let me put it in the chat box. So this is in the emergency room and speaking with a depressed patient.
Ujú.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Thomas, the psychologist here in the emergency room.
Buenas tardes, soy el doctor. Oh, sorry, interpreting his repetition.
Sure. Dr. Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas. Okay. Buenas tardes, soy el doctor Thomas. Soy el psicólogo aquí en la clínica.
The doctor has asked me to speak with you to determine how to help you.
El doctor me ha dicho que hable contigo para determinar cómo puedo ayudarte.
And also to see the next steps for your care.
Y para analizar los próximos pasos para tu cuidado.
I have read your file and I know some of your history.
He leído tu historial médico y sé parte de tu historia.
But could you please tell me in your own words what brings you to the ER today?
Pero por favor, ¿me puedes decir en tus propias palabras qué te ha traído a la sala de emergencia el día de hoy?
Okay, good. Good job, Geraldine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. So next we have Charito. Hello, Charito. How are you?
Hello, Jonathan. I'm good. How are you?
Okay, good. All right. So continuing here. Now the patient says, Doctor, I can't make any sense of my life.
Doktor, hindi ako interpreter needs a repetition, please.
Sure. Doctor, I can't make any sense of my life.
Doktor, hindi ko maintindihan kung ano ang nangyayari sa aking buhay.
I just want to let myself die.
Gusto ko lang mamatay.
I want the world to swallow me up.
Gusto ko nang ako'y lamunin ng buong mundo.
My husband just told me he wants a divorce.
Ang aking asawa ay, sinabihan ako ng aking asawa na gusto niya na akong hiwalayan.
I sent him a text message saying that I couldn't live without him.
Pinadalhan ko siya ng mensahe na hindi ako mabubuhay nang wala siya.
I was screaming and I was so upset that the police brought me here to the emergency room.
Sumisigaw ako. Interpreter needs to look up a word.
Sure. I'm not sure which word. If you need spelling, I can give it to you.
I just can't express the word upset.
Okay.
And put it into.
Okay. Sometimes it could help maybe if you try to reword it in the language that it was said in. So another word for upset would be angry or agitated. So sometimes that helps to replace the word because sometimes our mind just blocks on a certain word. So I'm not sure if that helps you.
Yes, it just came up too.
Okay, sure.
Interpreter needs a repetition.
Sure. I was screaming and was so upset that the police brought me to the emergency room.
Ako'y sumisigaw at nagagalit at dinala ako ng mga pulis dito sa hospital.
Okay. Okay, good. I'm going to share my screen with you. Hopefully you'll be able to read this.
Okay.
And let me see. It would be, oh no, not that one. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Too many pages open here. Okay, so this is an informational brochure on COVID.
Okay.
And hopefully you can see that. Is that clear for you?
They're too small. I can see
Okay.
I can see the top part.
Okay, well, go ahead and start with the top part, maybe.
Some 10 things that you might need to do to avoid. Oh, wait a minute. 10 things you might know how to manage your symptoms with COVID in your home.
Okay, very good. All right, so the rest is too small for you?
If you have or possibly confirm that you have COVID, number 1, you should stay at home. Go out only if you need to go get some medical supplies. Number 2, keep an eye of your symptoms. That way, it won't get worse. That way, your symptoms won't get worse.
Okay.
Call. Yeah, they're too small.
Too small. Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. The time is up now. So,
Thank you.
Angela actually wrote that you can put it into full screen if you click the 3 dots. So that's good to know. Thank you, Angela.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So go ahead. Yeah. Hopefully that will help out then for next time. So.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. But okay. Thank you. You did a good job. All right. So let me see. Moving forward, now we have Hilma. Hello, Hilma. How are you today? Let me see. Is Hilma still with us? It looks like we might have lost Hilma then. Okay. All right. Let's wait to do Hilma. Hopefully she can make it back in. Next we have Omar. Hello, Omar.
Good morning.
So good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right, good. Thanks. I don't think I recognize your name. Is this your first session?
This is not. I just
No.
normally don't check it on Tuesdays.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Just to make sure that you know how it works. Then. So good. It's nice to meet you. And we can continue. Thanks. We can continue with the session that we ran in the emergency room. So now the psychologist says, I am so sorry to hear what you're going through.
Lamento por lo que está pasando.
How long has it been that you have felt that you have no will to live?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva sintiéndose que no tenga ganas de vivir?
Bueno, llevo casi un año sintiéndome angustiada.
Well, it's been about a year since I've been feeling.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Give me a second. Let me just look up a word.
Sure. Yes, angustiada could be a little complicated sometimes. So, if anybody has any suggestions, feel free. Okay. That's very similar. I think feeling anxious would be a much better option, though. So
Okay.
literally it would be anguished, but I think it might be more natural maybe to say feeling anxious, but between the two options would be good.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, you're welcome. Y sin ganas de hacer nada.
And without wanting to do anything.
Pero ese del divorcio fue la gota que rebasó el vaso. So this is an idiomatic expression, so you can feel free to switch it around. Use one that would make sense in English. If you can think of one that has the same idea. So I'll repeat that for you. Ese del divorcio fue la gota que rebasó el vaso.
But the divorce was the trigger factor.
All right, good. That's good because you interpreted the idea well.
I mean, that's what's triggering it, right? That's what
So yeah, that's good. Another what's I like the example what they give here in the suggestion they give here. It's just saying that was the last straw. No, so you can, with an idiomatic expression, we have the freedom to switch it around to even say something completely different, as long as it's an accepted expression in the other language that gives the same idea. So, hold on, somebody's. Okay, let me try to silence here.
Mommy.
Okay, there you go. some interference there. Yes, okay. So the straw that broke the camel's back is also good. Yes, and the ripple in the water. I've never heard that one, but it might be used somewhere. But yes, as long as it's an expression that is in use and that gives the same idea, we can feel free with those to switch them around. So. What we don't want to do is interpret word for word an idiomatic expression that doesn't make any sense in the other language. So, all right, good. So continuing, ahora no puedo imaginarme cómo seguir viviendo.
Now I can't imagine how to continue living.
Okay, good. All right, good, Omar. Good job. And that's the time is up now. So thanks. And I think Hilma came. All right, you're welcome. I think I saw Hilma came back in. Let me see. Are you with us, Hilma? We may have lost her again. Oh, yes, you are. Okay. Right. So it's your turn. We can continue here with the scenario. Are you able to get your microphone on? Wait, let me go back to chat. I saw yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Trying. All right. If it doesn't come on, refresh the page and it should work. So like if you refresh it, it'll kick you out and then come back in and it should work then. Or if you're having internet problems, that might be why. So.
Okay, I think I'm here.
Okay, good. I can hear you nice and clear. So, all right. So continuing with the scenario here then. Now he asks, have you had a plan for how to harm yourself or take your life?
¿Ha tenido plan o cómo matarse o tomar su vida?
No, doctor. No he tenido un plan, ni nada por el estilo.
No, doctor, I haven't had a plan or anything like that.
En realidad, nunca me quitaría la vida.
Really, I would never take my life.
Tengo un hijo en quien pensar.
I have a son I have to think about.
Solo dije eso porque estaba harta de sentirme así.
I just said that because I was tired of feeling this way.
So you're saying that you feel distressed, but you have no plan or intention of harming yourself.
Entonces lo que dice es que se siente destresada, pero no tiene ningún plan de lastimarse o matarse.
Or anyone else. Is that correct?
O a nadie más. ¿Es eso correcto?
Sí, así es, doctor. No tengo ningún plan de hacerme daño.
Yes, doctor, that is correct. I have no plan in harming myself.
Tengo que vivir por mi hijo.
I have to live for my son.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that.
Bueno, estoy aliviado por escuchar eso.
But just to be on the safe side, I want to ask you a question.
Pero solo para estar seguro, le quiero hacer una pregunta.
Are there any weapons in the house?
¿Hay algunas armas en su casa?
No, no las hay.
No, there aren't any.
Have you ever been hospitalized for a mental health problem?
¿Ha estado hospitalizada por un problema médico?
Sí, una vez después de dar a luz a mi hijo.
Yes, once before after I gave birth to my son.
Tuve depresión postparto y me hospitalizaron durante 2 semanas.
I had postpartum depression and they hospitalized me for 2 weeks.
Have you ever taken any antidepressant medications?
¿Ha tomado medicamentos antidepresivos?
Sí, pero dejé de tomarlos más o menos después de medio año.
Yes, but I stopped taking them about a year and a half ago.
And do you think they helped you at all?
¿Y usted cree que le ayudaron en algo?
Sí, en realidad creo que me ayudaron.
Yes. In reality, I think they did help me.
And have you been drinking or taking any drugs lately?
¿Ha estado tomando o bebiendo drogas recientemente?
No, doctor, nada de esto. Simplemente me he sentido muy triste.
No, doctor, nothing like this. Simply, I've just been feeling a little sad.
Have you ever used drugs or alcohol in the past?
¿Ha usado drogas o alcohol anteriormente?
Sí, a veces tomo alcohol, pero únicamente en ocasiones especiales.
Yes, sometimes I drink alcohol, but only on special occasions.
No es algo habitual.
It's not something habitual.
Well, I don't think that we need to have you on a psychiatric hold.
Bueno, no creo que la tenemos que tener en una estadía antipsiquiátrica.
And we can lift the police custody.
Y podemos levantar la custodia de la policía.
We put people on a hold who are in danger of harming themselves or others.
Ponemos a alguien en una estadía si es alguien que pueda lastimarse ellos mismos o a alguien más.
And it seems to me that this is not your case.
Y me parece que este no es el caso.
Okay, good job. Hilma, good job.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Let me see. Next we have Khalid. Let me see. I know Khalid was having some problems too. Are you still with us?
No,
Khalid?
yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
How are you?
Okay, good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right. We can continue here then. Now the doctor asks, can you, hold on just a minute. I think we might have interference. No, that's from there. Okay. Can you promise me that you will be safe?
ممكن توعديني انك تكوني ما في خطورة عليك.
Okay, hold on just a minute. Yes, okay, there was interference. All right, I think we can hear clearly now. Let me repeat the question for you. Can you promise me that you will stay safe?
هل توعديني انك حتكوني آمنة؟
And okay, and that if you don't feel safe, you will return to the ER so we can help you.
وفي أي وقت لو ما شعرتي بأنك آمنة أو ما في خطورة عليك أو في خطورة عليك لازم ترجع تتصل على العيادة في أقرب وقت.
Yes, doctor, I can keep myself safe.
نعم دكتور، أنا بإمكاني أنا أكون في حالة جيدة.
Great. So let's see if we can discharge you from the emergency room.
نشوف إن شاء الله بنعمل لك خروج من المستشفى.
But first, let's look at your options for outpatient treatment.
في الأول نشوف خياراتك في العلاجات اللي حتاخديها معاك.
Okay, good. Now that's it for that scenario. So we can start one now that will be on medical history. So good afternoon, Mrs. Bonilla.
مساء الخير Mrs. Bonita.
I'm going to ask you a few questions about your medical history before the doctor examines you.
هسألك أسئلة بخصوص تاريخك المرضي قبل ما الدكتور يكشف عليك.
Yes, sir, that's fine.
حسنا هذا جيد.
Okay, good. Now let me share my screen with you so we can do some site translation.
Okay.
Let me see. Let's see, it was this one here that we were doing. So this is one, again, on exercises, and it should be flexibility exercises. So that would, all right, so it should be here. Let me share my screen and see if you can make it big.
Okay.
Put it into full screen so you can see it clearly. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. So we had left off, we had done here. It should be this one here that we can continue with.
Okay. Flexibility training. It is important to do stretching before exercise. And after that, like self test include examples like yoga and sport of Tai Chi. Start treatment and end it by doing 5 minutes gentle training or stretching. For example, walk for 5 minutes before running, and after that, and that helps to avoid injury.
Okay, perfect. Good job, Khalid.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And good. So let me see. Continuing now, we have Angela. Hello, Angela. How are you?
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. All right, so we can go back to the scenario on the medical history. And now the question is, first of all, what is the reason for your visit today?
Primero que todo, ¿cuál es la razón por su visita hoy?
Pues mi abogado dijo que viniera con este doctor.
Well, my lawyer told me to come with this doctor
Porque me accidenté en el trabajo.
because I had an accident at work.
Y me mandó a que este doctor me examinara.
And he sent me for this doctor to examine me.
And how did you injure yourself?
¿Y cómo se lastimó usted?
Bueno, estaba sorteando zanahorias en la línea.
Interpreter needs to look up a word.
Sure. I'm not sure if you need spelling. I don't know if it was maybe la línea or if you were. Oh,
Okay.
You got some suggestion though about.
Yes, thank you, Carmen. Interpreter needs repetition.
Sure. Estaba sorteando zanahorias en la línea.
I was sorting carrots in the line.
Trabajo en una canería.
I work in a meat market.
Okay. If you think that was actually it's a Spanglish word, so there is no definition really to this word, I guess, official one. It could be, but the idea, if you think of what that could sound like in English, though.
Like a grocery store?
Okay, a cannery would be the word.
A cannery?
Yeah. So sometimes you'll find that a patient will use Spanglish, and sometimes it will make no sense to us. So when that happens, the best thing that we can do is stop and tell the doctor. The interpreter requires clarification from the patient.
Okay.
And then ask, disculpa, una canería, no entiendo, and they would probably use a different word then, or explain it to you at least so you get the right idea.
Okay.
So because in this case, it's because she said she was separating carrots, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that it was carnicería, no?
Right.
Yeah, so anytime something seems really out of context, or you can't figure it out, or maybe they're using a Spanglish word or a regional word you're not familiar with, there's no problem with just pausing and asking for more information. So,
Okay. Perfect.
all right. Okay, good. All right. So she continues. Y cuando estiré la mano así, de repente sentí un tirón.
And when I stretched my hand like this, all of a sudden, I felt like a jerk.
Y luego no podía usar la mano.
And then I couldn't use my hand.
Have you ever had this problem before?
¿Usted ha tenido este problema antes?
No, así no.
No, not like that.
Es que trabajábamos muchas horas en ese rato,
It's that we were working a lot of hours at that time.
hasta 10 o 12 horas en un solo turno, y estaba cansadísima.
Up to 10 to 12 hours in just one shift, and I was really tired.
And do you work standing at a conveyor belt?
¿Usted trabaja parada en... Interpreter needs to look up a word.
Sure, I gave you the spelling there in the chat box.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trabajo parada en un transportador.
Okay. Before that, you would put belt. So una
Okay, and
cinta
it's-
transportadora.
En una cinta transportadora. Okay.
Okay. All right. Good. So got a new word today.
Yes.
So all right. But good job, Angela.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Let's see. Next we have Dukar. Hello. How are you today?
Hi.
Yeah, okay. Now your full name, could you remind me? Because I see it's written just twice. I couldn't remember your first name. Could you just remind me of that? Wait, I think I lost you. Okay, yeah, your microphone. All right, there you are.
Hannah Duker.
Okay, Hannah. All right, thank you. I'll put that in my notes there. So, all right. So the next question was, do you have to do a lot of reaching?
Interpreter needs to look up a word.
Sure. Yeah, that one causes some confusion a lot of times. So.
Extiende mucho.
Okay. Sí, y no nos dejan descansar cuando deben hacerlo.
Yes, and they don't let us rest when we do it.
Okay, now there's a little bit of interference there, so you might not have heard it well. But she says she stopped or ended it saying cuando deben hacerlo.
I'm sorry. Yeah, can you repeat?
Sure. Sí, y no nos dejan descansar cuando deben hacerlo.
Oh, yes, we do a lot of reaching, and they don't let us rest when we need to.
Solo nos dan un descanso a las 12 del día.
They only give us one resting time at 12 p.m.
Y solo por 15 minutos. Yo creo que es ilegal.
And it's only for 15 minutes, and I think it's illegal.
All right, I'm going to ask you some questions about your family.
Está bien. Entonces, le haré algunas preguntas sobre su familia.
Does anyone in your family have heart disease?
¿Alguna persona de su familia tiene interpreter needs to look up a word?
Okay, sure.
¿Algún miembro de su familia tiene cardiopatía?
Okay, good. No, que yo sepa, no.
That I know of, no.
And how about diabetes?
¿Y qué tal de hepatitis?
Okay.
Diabetes, perdón.
Okay, no problem. No, salvo mi abuelita, pero ya murió hace años.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay, no, salvo mi abuelita, pero ya murió hace años.
I'm sorry, are you saying salvo or solo?
No, salvo, which basically means the same thing as solo. It's kind of like saying apart from.
Oh, okay.
So I put that in the chat box for you to see how it's spelled.
I'm sorry, now I have to. Were you saying that in English or in?
No, en español. I'll repeat it for you. So,
Okay.
no, salvo mi abuelita, pero ya murió hace años.
No, only my grandmother, but she died years ago.
Okay, good. Has anyone in your family suffered from cancer?
¿Algunos miembros de la familia han tenido cáncer?
No, gracias a Dios, no.
No, thankfully not.
Okay, all right, good. Good job, Hannah.
Gracias.
Okay. Let me see. So next we have Carmen. Hello, Carmen. How are you?
Good morning, buenos dias. I'm good. How are you, Jonathan?
Okay, good. Thanks. All right. So continuing here, have you ever had an infectious disease such as typhoid or cholera?
¿Ha tenido antes una infección infecciosa, por ejemplo, tifoidea o cólera?
Que sepa, no. Siempre he gozado de buena salud.
Not that I know of. I've usually had good health.
And have you been vaccinated against tetanus, measles, and smallpox?
¿Se ha vacunado contra el tétano, la viruela o measles? Interpreter needs.
Sure. I can give you the spelling. If anybody has a suggestion for measles, please go ahead. All right. Well, to help us with the timing a little bit, I'll give you a suggestion here then. So, sarampion would be measles.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. Now, one thing, a note for everybody here, these are mentioned together a lot. So it might be good maybe to write them down together and have them maybe in a glossary or somewhere, or just practice them until they come. Because one of the hardest things is when we get a list of medications or shots or symptoms. So you'll find that certain things are mentioned together a lot. It's a good thing maybe to put them in a glossary together. So if we have any doubt, or maybe we're just tired, or it's easy to have for access. So. But all right, so next the patient responds, creo que sí, pero no estoy segura.
I believe so, but I'm not sure.
Cuando era niña, vivíamos en un rancho.
Whenever I was a little girl, we lived in a ranch.
Era muy difícil conseguir atención médica.
It was very difficult to have access to medical care.
Pero creo que me vacuné contra todas esas enfermedades. Mi papá insistía en eso.
but I think I was vaccinated against all those things. My father would insist in getting vaccinated.
Did you have any common childhood illnesses such as chickenpox or mumps?
¿Tuvo algún tipo de enfermedad de niñez común? Por ejemplo, la viruela o needs time.
Sure. Again, these are words we don't use day to day, but we, as medical interpreters, we need to practice them a little bit and have them ready. So, and Maria helped you out also, as you had it right the first time, but now I think just the confusion of all of these, you said viruela, I think you said, right? But a varicela would be the chickenpox.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Maria is also giving you a suggestion for mumps.
Paperas. Okay.
Okay. So the question again was, did you have any common childhood illnesses such as chickenpox or mumps?
¿Tuvo algún tipo de enfermedad común en los niños como viruela o paperas?
Okay. All right. Good. Good job, Carmen.
Thank you. Thank you all for that.
All right. Yeah, no, the help is always good. All right, well, thank you, everybody. So that's it for the session today. Of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute your microphone or raise your hand or write them in the chat box. And if not, feel free to log out. Before you do that, let me give you the keyword. Hold on just a minute. We can use the last session here. So the keyword can be medical history.